Hey my sugar bears, welcome back to my channel, Bougie AF. It's your host, J. Nicole. It's where I say stay bougie on them. It's me feeding you feminism for the soul. It's my soul food offering. It's where I apply pressure to issues by being critical and logical. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get to the commentary where I can guarantee you I will be doing too much because that's just me. And like Sheree said, who's gonna check me, boo?
Hey y'all, it's your girl J. Nicole, and you are tuned in to the Bougie AF channel where I say stay bougie on them. I'm serving you feminism for the soul. Don't forget to check me out on them people's Instagram at OG_Bougie AF. You can also check me out on them people's Twitter where, my dear diary, also known now as X, at I'm_Bougie_AF. So let's get into it. So y'all see the flyer, y'all see it. So we're going to do a little Instagram scroll, okay? So much going on out there after the NBA All-Star Weekend. So today is President's Day. If you are celebrating it, you are off. But yeah, the gossip, and I want to get into it. It's so juicy. I miss my girl, Wendy Williams. Everyone else out here right now is so flat, boring, and dull, and predictable. So she was just a wild card, and I hope to replace her one day. Let's be clear. I really do, in all of what she was and plus more. I don't want to be humble about what I want, what my intentions are, okay? All right, so let's get into, we're on the neighborhood talk, right? So we are a few stories out there. So y'all know how I do. I get my scroll on and try to figure out what moves me, what makes me want to talk. And this stuck out to me. It says, oops, songwriter Tiffany calls out Beyonce, 7th Streeter, Tamar, Braxton, and Zendaya for not properly giving publishing rights to her and others behind the scenes. Publishing is my only source of income. And that stood out to me. And y'all know she said Queen Beyonce's name. And I really do try to stay away from news regarding Beyonce because I know my bias and I know she's on my Mount Rushmore. But I think the title and I think what's being talked about is a great example of the fairy tale world that I think some people live in terms of how we operate within the Black community and how we treat each other. And how that pro-Black, do the right thing by one another goes out the door when it comes to business, right? And that's why you got to be so cut and dry when it comes to business because it knows nothing about race. We do that. We interject that, our political ideology, beliefs, and how we want to move forward in the community. We interject that into business, and business knows nothing about that. It just doesn't. And as you can see, when we talk about the contracts Diddy was giving, artists from back in the day that were fucked up, business did not know anything about race, right? Because he did exactly the same thing that we said white people were doing to us, right? He didn't do any better within the business. And I think it's extremely important when we're putting people up on these pedestals that we look at the facts of it, right? We look at the facts so that way we can, not have a disconnect from reality. Because I think sometimes when I hear people talk about the Black community and what you're supposed to do, I think there's a disconnect. I think it's not in touch with reality. I think it's not in touch with factually what we've seen in terms of people screwing each other over. And I also don't think it's present. I don't think it's present in taking into account all of the things that we see in terms of the hustling that is happening and it be your own people. From my city in Boston, from individuals claiming to be Black Lives Matter and stop Sneaker Mallory's and to the, Patrice Get Money Colors and stuff like that. To the Umar Johnsons, to the, Morrison, Jay Morrisons. These are charlatans, right? And these are people who are pushing C. I call it pushing C, pushing community, for that you can buy into them, right? Because everyone wants to believe that people are operating in a sense of trying to be about something that's bigger than themselves, right? And when your tagline is community, you think that's a good person. They're just not about themselves, right? They're not individualistic, but your actions also have to say the same thing, and we just don't have that historically to say that people have not did this to get rich and be about themselves. From the Al Sharptons to the Jesse Jacksons to whoever, we continue to keep seeing this. And for me, it's hard because I continue to see my people fall for bullshit. Because what the hell do you hear when you listen to Umar Johnson? I hear absolutely positively nothing. I hear a man that has been out of the education system with hands on for over 10 plus years. What new is he talking about? We are all quite aware of the ADHD diagnosis and the overdiagnosis within our community, and especially in white institutions, of how they will easily label our children as having some type of issues, right? Like, we know that now. So what else, brother? Because all we want is this motherfucking school to open. All right, so let's get into the story.
That I have done, I have written when the artist was not in the room. I'll go through my own songs. Replay. Zendaya got 10% of the publishing, I think. She did not write on the song. She didn't. That song was written at a Rihanna song camp. It was on hold for Rihanna. Then it was on hold for Rita Ora. Famous came to me and said, yo, Tiff, there's this artist named Zendaya. We should cut Replay on her. So Zendaya got publishing and writer credit. She did not write on Replay. King by Tamar Braxton. I wrote and produced that song. I wrote that song for myself as an artist. In my living room. Tamar got, I don't know what she ended up getting. I think I own like 85% of that song. But I should own all of it because I did all of it. She didn't write shit. Seven Streeter, who's a songwriter. This one really hurt my heart. Seven Streeter, just being honest. Me and Mansour did that song. It was originally called Bitch. I wrote that song by myself. I'm not even really a big co-writer like that. I prefer writing songs by myself because, I don't know, I just prefer to write like that. So I have a lot of records that I have placed that either have one co-writer on or that I've written solo dolo, right? Seven ended up with 10% of that record. I fought like hell for her to not have any of the publishing because she didn't write anything on it. Publishing is my only source of income. And by the way, none of the artists that I've mentioned have a career anything close to in music Beyonce. None of them do. But the reason why I'm bringing up my experience with every artist or almost every artist that I've worked with that has taken publishing that they did not earn on the songs that I wrote for them is because there is a precedent that's set. The reason why I called out Beyonce is because Beyonce is the Michael Jackson of our generation. And so if there's anybody that could reshape the precedent, if there's anybody that could influence the industry, that had the power and the money and the cultural thing to say, you know what, y'all, you're right. These songwriters have been out here. We've been in the street. Literally, I have been in the street in front of Spotify. I've been in front of Universal. I have sat and I have talked to all y'all publishers. I talked to y'all publishers. I talked to the DSPs. I talked to the copyright royalty, the U.S. Copyright Office. I talked to NMPA. I talked to RIAA. I talked to SONA. I talked to NSAI. I talked to all of them. And guess what? Y'all are still broke. Okay? That's the fucking truth, right? Okay? So the people that are like, oh, this is not true. I had somebody call it propaganda yesterday. It's not fucking propaganda. The reality is there is no A-list artist, B-list artist, or C-list artist that's not taking publishing, because that is the way the music industry works. And to deny that is delusional. And what I will not allow is for anybody to make me feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone, because I know I'm not in the Twilight Zone. I can pull up my records. I talked to somebody yesterday, a manager of somebody who is a writer and producer on Renaissance, okay? The record is one of y'all faves. The song was written 6 years before it got to Beyonce. She got 25% of the song. I've talked to another writer who wrote and sang on one of your favorite songs. Credit not right, all kind of shit fucked up. His business still isn't handled. Beyonce was on tour last year with that record, with that person's vocals, all that. I'm not crazy. And here's the thing. The reason why people who work for Beyonce don't talk is because they're all on NDAs. Because that's also how she works. She silences people so that nobody can speak. I'm not a writer that's written for Beyonce. I haven't shot my shot at Beyonce because I'm not willing to give her any publishing. Not because I haven't had the opportunity. I've had the opportunity to work with everybody. And I've turned down a lot of stuff because I'm not willing to play these games. There's a massive power dynamic happening. Please don't act like it's easy to negotiate with Beyonce and her team, because it is not. If that was the case, there would not be so many people coming to me like, Tiff, this is how much was taken. Shit is not negotiable. It's not. These are the terms, which means, okay, cool, then we work for you, Beyonce. So that means you're an employer. But either way, to imply that the artists do not have to be responsible for the business practices that they exercise with songwriters, to insinuate that the only way you are treated fairly is if you are managed by one of the gatekeepers is bullshit. It's bullshit. You shouldn't have to be in company with a gatekeeper to be treated fairly. You should not have to have a gatekeeper on your team to make a livable wage off of music that is making people billionaires. Them Grammys don't pay the bills. Those plaques do not pay the bills. There are people with Grammys and plaques who can't pay their rent. I know people who are super accredited, broke. It means nothing. Trust me, I know. I remember having a conversation with a writer who wrote on, what was the record Beyonce did after or before Renaissance? I can't remember, whatever the record was. I remember talking to one of the writers and talking to them about how much of the publishing she was taking. And this writer was like, look, Tiff, I don't want no smoke with me. Like, I just let her take the publishing. That's bullshit. All of these writers that you guys see celebrating in the studio with these artists posted up in pictures like, yeah, everything is all good. Those writers are being exploited. Those writers' time is not paid for. Their services are not paid for. Their contribution to the sound recording is not paid for. Their first use of the copyright is not paid for. Their fucking parking is not paid for. Their fucking lunch is not paid for. That's the truth. The truth is that we work in an industry that proclaims it makes billions of dollars but can't even buy you fucking lunch. But I'm tripping. But I'm tripping. No, they're tripping. And you're tripping if you with them. There's people that are like, didn't nobody have no gun to your head? The gun to your head is the power dynamic.
Yep.
Think critically, y'all. The gun to your head is the power dynamic. The gun to your head is your livelihood. The gun to your head is being excluded and ostracized and retaliated against for even trying. That's the gun to your head.
Facts.
They don't need to put a gun to your head anymore.
Sis is smart.
Because they control everything. That's the gun. You being silenced, that's the gun. And you know, the thing that burns me up the most about Beyonce, and this is why I'm speaking about her specifically, is because Beyonce is Queen Bee. Beyonce is a black artist. Beyonce represents black excellence. Beyonce's team, like the people who work with her, these writers that I'm talking about that are exploited, they're us. You know what? It's so funny because when I think about my own career and all the people that have fucked me over, it's been my own people.
Speak on it.
Because those are the opportunities I had to work with my people.
I had to pause that because y'all seen, you know, you just listened to my little intro and I'm pointing out because I'm not disconnected from fucking reality of what's actually happening to people. That I was pointing out exactly what she's saying. This is the first time I've actually ever listened to this. Now I saved the title, but this is a raw reaction to her video, and I totally feel everything she's saying. And y'all heard me say I'm a Beyonce stan, and I find this woman to be able to articulate in a way that she is not disparaging or making off the cuff disrespectful comments about so far she hasn't made any off the cuff disrespectful comments about any of these women, but calling a thing for me is shit that sits well with me, and I have no problem with that, even if you are one of my top 5 Mount Rushmore people. But I feel everything she's saying, and I think she should bring this to people's attention. Because when she's talking about power dynamics and how that looks like, and how black people and how we have historically been exploited in terms of not being paid like properly, like we should, working overtime and not getting paid for it and things like that, that's happening out here. Okay? And you don't say anything because you want your job. So when she's saying that's the power dynamic to those who say no one was holding a gun up to your head, every day you are going to work and experiencing some foul shit, and you continue to go back because you know what? You need a paycheck, right? So I know it's so easy and so flippant and so cool and so tough acting to just be like, ain't nobody holding a gun up to your head, ain't nobody making you do it. But you know who is making them do it? The light company, you get what I'm saying? Your phone companies, your landlord, like all these things you have on you is making you show up to and be at workplaces or be involved in situations that you're not fully being, benefiting from, right? Like that's just what it is. So kudos to her. I didn't know this was going to be that long, so this probably be the only one I do in this video.
And this business is a racist business. So if you're black, you're usually put in R&B and hip hop with artists that are black, creatives that are black, executives that are black. And you know what your people do to you? The same thing them white people do to you. And we pedestal them like goals. That is not fucking goals. Capitalism is not goals. That shit is not cute. Capitalism is rooted in chattel slavery. That's the foundation of capitalism. To be a billionaire, you have to exploit labor. That is not the shit. It's fucking disgusting, is what it is. My comments about Beyonce not winning Album of the Year and me saying, you know what, maybe karmically it's not coming to you because of the way that you're doing creatives, I meant that with everything in me. I hear the racial discussion and all the things, and I think that has its place. But this has its place too. It does. And they all can exist. Beyonce could absolutely reform her business practices. Beyonce could absolutely reform Parkwood's business practices. It's a decision. It's a fucking choice. It's a choice to take 25% of publishing that you didn't earn. That's wage theft. That's what that is.
Facts.
That's bullying. That's abuse of power. That is the power dynamic. That's the gun. People out here think they're going to lose their opportunities, lose their jobs, lose their relationships, lose everything trying to negotiate. And y'all fucking know that shit. And to act like that's not the case is so, like, for me, like, that's the shit that gets me riled up. Like, people are always like, oh my God, why are you not scared? Because I'm fucking mad. What you're not gonna do is try to make me feel crazy, because I know I'm not crazy. I'm a songwriter. I have lived this. My friends around me live this still. I hate it for them.
I will say this, and sometimes I be like, yo, I know I'm not letting niggas gaslight me. I was there, you weren't. You know what I'm saying? I experienced this, you did, and I went through it, you didn't, right? And to hear her say, I know I'm not crazy, and it's sort of like, who can tell you that you crazy about something that you experience? I have no dealings, never been a part of any type of business that have to do with the music industry. How the fuck could I tell her that she's crazy? How could anybody who does not do what she does or been in the rooms that she's been in a room tell her what her experience is? Like that, you can't. Some shit you gotta be like, yo, I don't know nothing about. And not have ego that makes you think that you're having an opinion, and you are having an opinion, but you're not having an informed opinion, and that's something that's completely different. How could you possibly have an informed opinion about something you have never ever did before in life? I don't care how much you say you heard this and you know this person and they told you it's like this. No, if you've not experienced it like she's experienced it, and other people who is in the same profession as her, you can't speak on that. That's like the same argument that some of the individuals like a Kwame Brown have about Stephen A. Smith in terms of feeling like you have an opinion, but it's sort of like, can you speak on something? You ain't never dribbled a ball. You ain't never did that. You ain't never been in that position. You ain't never been number one and had that type of pressure on you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never had none of that, right? So you can call someone a bust and all those other things, but you have never been in that position to look down on whatever that person may have accomplished. What? Some shit you can't talk about because no. That's why I tell y'all I don't like doing like relationship conversations or even holding relationship conversations, because when I say I've never experienced something, instead I feel stupid and weird sitting on stages and talking about relationship stuff, and there's some shit I just can't even get with from the door. So it don't even get that deep in terms of relationships, because I'm already showed up for myself and have my boundaries in place on what will happen and what I'm looking for, right? So when I say I don't have no experience with that, I don't even like to talk about it. Because all of my advice is always going to be grounded and rooted in what that person do, girl. You better get it together. Better figure out how you want to be treated in life. That's what my advice is. Don't take that. I ain't gonna tell you leave your nigga, but I'm just saying. Oh, okay. That's what that's what it is from the here on now on. Like, because when you start accepting somebody doing fucked up shit to you, right, and you stay with them, you kind of accept that that's what it's going to be. If they've made no promise or not showing you that they're willing to change, you're literally low-key just saying, yeah, I accept this.
There are artists that are A-list artists that can lead the charge here too. I'm not saying wait on Beyonce. I'm not. But I am going to say what I need to say about it, because for the last almost 4 years now, I have had so many writers come to me about her specifically. And I also want y'all to know that, like, I'm not the kind of person that comes to the internet first. I come to the internet last. I come to the internet at the end, when I've tried everything else I could try. So trust and believe, on the back end, I've been doing a lot when it comes to this conversation and who I'm having conversation.
I will say this. I think like she says, and like I say, when you're thinking critically about things and when you listen to certain artists and what they tend to use their voice to speak out against, rarely is it against another somebody in the entertainment business, right? And this is where you have to start saying there's a lot of self-interest in not wanting to call a thing and call people out for things that you know, even if they are doing wrong by other people. And I say this because when you know, me finding out who Tiffany Red is behind Cassie's situation with Diddy, right? And from what it's alleged about Diddy is that a whole bunch of people in the industry was quite aware, outside of 50 Cent and off-cuff comedians. Everyone has managed to stay quiet. Self-interest is self-preservation is happening. That's what we see when we see all these vocal people from the Joe Buddens and the Melissa Fords and Nori and Drink Champs, and they go radio silent during these times. The Breakfast Club, right? Radio silent during these times, right? Because these are well-known things that they already know. So it took a Tiffany Red coming forward to say, hey, I've actually seen this, when we know other celebrities have seen it. But nah, I can't piss Diddy off. Nah, that's too many opportunities I could be missing out on. Nah, one door leads another. Nah, I can't do that. Right? So this is how black girls get taken advantage. And even in our neighborhoods, in our homes, in our families, right? Where people aren't sticking up for people when they see things. Or when things do happen to black girls, it's covered up and telling them to be tough and be resilient and all these things that people will try to mind fuck you into thinking that you are supposed to see past yourself, not stand for yourself, right? Against what they're trying to do. Because in the, you know, macro big cosmos of this world, you are just a little speck, right? It's not that important. There's more important things going on in the world to be concerned with. People are dying every day. People have cancer. How dare you think that this matters? Right? Because that's the messaging that it sends to black girls when you tell them to not talk too much or don't talk too much about what you've been through or what the black experience is. Same way Fonnie Willis sat in that courtroom and say it's a black thing. Because this is why I repeatedly keep saying when I engage with white people, I say my community. You mean, I say I can only speak about what I see in my community, right? Because I understand there's a language amongst us. There's a way of being. There's a way how we treat each other, right? And some people outside don't see it, right? We so funny acting, like, and I'm not gonna say it's bad, but we so funny acting. We got some shit with us. I'm like, you do certain things, like it's a no. It's a no. It's perceived as rude, right? Like, even if you think about the dynamics of black men in the manosphere and how there are some black men who feel when it comes to a woman, disrespecting them is questioning them. Disrespecting them is having hard conversations because they can only receive it from other black men, right? And if you challenge me, make me feel a way in any type of way, then you're disrespectful and you don't love black men. But these are things that culturally only people within the community know that, right? Because I think that sometimes when I said this the other day on the stage, I didn't know I was going to do all this, but I said this the other day on the stage, y'all think disrespect is cussing somebody out and calling them all types of names, when a lot of times that's not even what some people made. That's disrespect, but there'll be other little micro things that someone will consider disrespect and want to take it to level 10. Right? No emotional intelligence, the inability to control emotions, or, you know what I mean? The inability to just be fragile when they hear a voice that does not agree. You being disrespectful. What you mean the earth ain't flat?
With and how and all the things. So I've been doing what I'm supposed to do. And nothing has gotten done. People splits still aren't done. People still aren't getting paid. People still aren't being seen. People still aren't being heard. People are still being silenced. People are still under NDAs and some more shit. While Jay-Z's up there on Sunday talking about why it's not fair Beyonce don't got a Grammy for Album of the Year. So hell yeah, I had something to say. Because it's hypocrisy. Also, not for nothing, Taylor Swift is a songwriter. She writes her albums. Yeah. That's all I had to say about that. I'm going to go back to my day. I wanted to have this quick vent so that y'all can hear me out. And so that the people out there can hear me out who are, who have the commentary going on right now, because I'm definitely getting the messages. I'm definitely getting the, did you see that? I'm definitely seeing the, like, let me set the record straight. Put the splits on the table. Set the record straight. Pull the email chain. Set the record straight. I like facts. I showed y'all my thing. I like facts. Show me the splits. Almost every record that I have done, I have.
Okay, so I like her style. Show me the records. We talking facts. Let's talk about it. There's paperwork. There's a paper trail here. She's 100% right. I can't disagree with nothing that sis said. I remember I do want to do a video. I do want to talk about Jay-Z, and the reason why I did not have too much to say, like I said, it gets tricky with me and my love for Beyonce, but I will always stay true to myself. Like, I have no problem with that. I didn't find that admirable what Jay-Z did in terms of, like, at the Grammys and calling the Grammys out. I mean, you guys got to understand something. When Kanye went up on stage and interrupted Taylor Swift's moments, which was also wrong, he was speaking truth, right? That was the truth in terms of black artists historically in this category have feel passed over. Historically, by the Grammys, black people have felt passed over. What's his name? KRS-One did not go to the Grammys this year, and they were going to do, maybe it was last year, I'm not sure, this whole big old celebration, 50 years of hip hop and rap, and he didn't go. And the reason he didn't go, he said, because you guys never wanted us. You barely wanted to acknowledge us, and you don't even correctly award us right now, right? In terms of, like, there needs to be other subgroups within rap, because it is not all like one type of rap that is going on, right? So you barely wanted to acknowledge us, but because 50 years in hip hop is such a big deal, and you want to put on a great show, you want to use me for a show pony, but you don't respect and value me enough to honor me with awarding us properly. Yeah. Understood every reason why KRS-One did not want to go to those Grammys. I'm not your fucking show pony. Right? So when I hear or when I see people, saying Jay-Z, that's how you stand up for your wife. Kanye had already said what it was and what was happening, and y'all asses kept showing up to them motherfucking shows looking for that validation that you wanted through that show. I'm gonna have to say that, Beyonce. Like, why'd you keep going? Why are you showing up at places where you're not appreciated? I'm confused, because y'all thought y'all were playing the game, and Jay-Z, you thought you was just so strong in the business that everything was moving towards the goal y'all way, right? Like, is that what it is? You thought you could switch it over. You thought that racism that exists within the Grammys and that structure was no longer there? Or did you thought you were bigger than that? For you and yours, there's an exception. Is that what you thought? But you told us. You told us, because a former protest is walking out on something, which Beyonce and Jay-Z did. They walked out. They turned their back, which is equivalent to taking the knee. Something that you said when it came to Colin Kaepernick, that aren't we past that? Yeah, some of us been past it, because I ain't pulled up a Grammys and watched that shit live in years. Yeah. So yeah, we have been past some things. That's the reason why Drake did not show up and stop fucking with the Grammys. Yeah, some of us has been past that. Yeah. You stayed on it though. Y'all stayed on it. Don't see you in June at the BETs, but we see you at the Grammys because that's what you want anymore. Okay. That's what's
When
up.
the artist,
That's what's up. Like that. I mean, I hope to see you this year at the BET Awards. Point blank. But we had already, start fucking with the Grammys. As you said, we over kneeling and turning our backs and any of other things. So I'm not quite sure what you were doing, but I don't know why you can't put it together. That was a form of kneeling. And I just don't want to join your kneel when it's convenient to you, because the same way you sold out Dame Dash, I mean, you got a pattern of behavior. It's the same way that you sold out Colin Kaepernick. When it benefited you to get with the NFL, it was no longer we're kneeling. Nothing really changed outside of you putting us on stage as show ponies, my nigga. Let's be honest about that. Nothing changed. Fucking show ponies. All right. So, I mean, that's all I got for commentary, but we're going to get into these comments and see what my co-hosts have to say. It says, this is the Neighborhood Talk. Go check them out. Tiffany had time this morning. She discussed the disparities songwriters have behind the scene thoughts, neighbors, and she eloquently did that. I wouldn't mind seeing her host shows, these other type of black women with substance that I want to see in position talking to us, not airheads. I didn't put a name on it, but if you feel touched, be touched. If you're not airheads, I don't want the fluff. My people's too behind for fluff commentary. I'm sorry. This right here is that real shit. A way of thinking that needs to be permeated and delivered to my people so they can learn how to be better thinkers. So they know when to challenge things, even if it's your faves and all that other stuff, is still stay respectful within it. I can do it. I mean, because y'all know I can go to the left and be real disrespectful. Because Tamar really has a nerve, because she knows how hard the grind is. She was a backup singer. So you out here like screwing people over is not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay, ladies. Zendaya and Seven, it's not okay. You a songwriter and you know? No, I don't like that. All right, so let's see what the Elsa comments say. I'm not. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. Being a songwriter is tough, but because she made this video, it's about to get even tougher for her. That's a fact. Why are y'all mad at her for speaking out about not getting the credit she worked for? Because we're so conditioned to think that we should just be doing and you'll be recognized. Don't rock the boat too much. That sounds like you're ungrateful. For some people, she sounds like she's ungrateful. She's talking about how they're stealing from her. And for some people, she sounds ungrateful. Just be good with what you got, girl. People would kill to be in your position. Do y'all clock into your jobs and expecting not to get paid? The fuck? Yeah. Carrie Hilson called this out years ago, and sis has been harassed ever since. Shaking my head. So is that the underlining beef between Carrie Hilson and her feelings towards Beyonce? I mean, because she's never really came out and said like what her issue is now. But if her issue is what Tiffany Wright is talking about, it makes sense to me why she probably made whatever off the cuff statement she made, right? And then she ended up getting blackballed because of it, right? So if that's why, then I can understand why she feels some sort of way. Y'all mad because she's fighting to get paid more for what she does? Question. Crazy. Call your lawyer, ma'am. Y'all not going to listen because she's talking about Beyonce. I'm listening and love Beyonce. The same people that sided with Taraji going to hop in here and go against Tiff because they mentioned their fave. Shaking my head. Wait a minute. I watched this 3 times. She never said Beyonce stole music. She wants Beyonce to use her influence to help songwriters receive the right credit. Y'all get on my nerves with this clickbait. I watched it 1 time. That's exactly what she said. She said she's had 4 people come to her over the last 4. She said she's had 4 people come to her over the last year and talked about Beyonce and having to give Beyonce 25% of the writer's credit. She literally said that. She literally said, I'm calling out Beyonce because she has the most impact and cultural influence to make a change within the system. So no, she most definitely said that. So comprehension is woo, baby. drag them all. I listen to 90% of this because everyone reserves the right to speak their truth, but I can't really empathize with her grievances. She's complaining about something she heard from a colleague with no real um, ins and out of the agreement. What? She's complaining about contractual agreement she made because she was eager in the moment. She didn't say what? We can't blame the artist for this no matter how popular they are. Get a lawyer, do the work. Okay, this is how you know this child is what is it? What? That didn't even make any sense. She literally says she's experienced it with all of these artists taking 10% of her shit. She literally said that. So when she said she's complaining about something she's heard, that's not what she's saying. She's saying that these artists have it is known to work with them and submit songs to them. You have to know, you have to come up off of some of your publishing for their songs. So she's saying that there's a unwritten rule to do business that they are automatically telling you this is what you have to give up to do business. That is illegal. What? She's complaining about contractual agreements she made because she was eager in the moment. Okay, girl. God bless her soul. I wonder what school she went to. Mind you, Zendaya didn't speak out replay. Disney did. She was like 16 when that song came out. I don't know what that means. This is real. I've gone through this plenty of times. Call me So the Pop. I guess he's also a writer. Letting it be known, like, this is real. I watched her interview on the R&B Money podcast. She didn't just start voicing her concerns and grievances as a songwriter. She's been saying this for years. Okay, so sis is solid. Like, that's all I know. And from the commentary and people, like, she speaks out. Where were you guys when Diddy was out here doing what he was doing? Y'all were staying quiet, and y'all seem to just stay quiet in general for self-preservation. And that's where I'm at with it. I co-sign, love everything that Tiffany Red has to say. Beyonce, 7th Street to Tamar, and and Zendaya, y'all need to get it the fuck together. If this is what community is, you know how y'all be pushing C and shit out here. If this is what community is, I don't want it. I don't want it. I told y'all, it ain't all what they telling y'all it is. All right, y'all know how we do it here. We keep it bougie SF, we keep it posh SF, we keep it black SF, and y'all be black, y'all. We also are blessed SF. All right, kiss, 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 kiss. And don't you forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I am out. Bye.